Well, you join me today doing a bit of another one of my budgie repairs, which is on the seat on the Kramer telehandler. Not in a good state of repair this was when I got it. So I've started to do a bit of a repair on it. If you've got a telehandler, you'll know they're a bit of a bouncy thing. There's not a lot in the way of suspension on them, and I don't even think my seat, the suspension, is working on it anymore. Luckily I've got a lot of concrete around here, so it's not too bad, but I thought what I could do is try and repair the seat a little bit. So there's only one door on the Kramer, so this side of the seat is obviously gets double the wear, as it were, and the foam, obviously the material's worn away and the foam's gone as well here. So just under the, I've stuck this piece of foam on already, made a start, but under there of course we've got metal down here, which is a bit painful. So I've stuck a piece of foam in there to replace the foam that's missing. I'm not quite sure it's quite the same density as that that's already there, but it's all I've got. So it's what I've got lying around. And then I've cut another piece here which is going to go over the top. So again, it's just some more old foam that I don't know, it's been lying around, so I don't know what it originally came off, I'm not sure, but anyway, but I'll make use of it. So I'm going to put that underneath here now. So I'm just going to poke that under what's left of the original material. So I've sort of cut it already to roughly the size of the seat base. So that should give it a little bit more support for my old bones. And then to top it off, I'm going to use one of these. Now, you probably can't tell what it is from the way I'm holding it, so I'll put a picture in now to show you. This is a chair cover off a dining chair. I picked a couple of these up for less than 10 quid. Now I know you can buy proper seat covers, obviously they're a little bit more money, and some of them are waterproof if that's important, but I didn't really think I needed something waterproof. Hopefully the seat inside the cab won't get wet. These are sort of a like elasticated material, but importantly they have a back on them, and they've got a lot like a thick elastic around the edge. So what I'm going to do is put it over the back first. I'll just find the corners, a bit like putting a duvet on. Just a bit of adjustment there. Now I'm just going to go over the plastic there, and then I'll just go round. There is a seat belt on these if you use it. Just go under that, and then I'll put it over the top of that, I think. That I'm hoping will hold all that foam nicely in place. And so when I get in and out, now it won't move the foam from underneath, and it looks, for all intents and purposes, a lot better. Well, in my humble opinion. It's a bit dark in here. I should have maybe moved the Kramer outside where there's a bit more light. It's a proper dingy dull day today. So yeah, certainly looks better than it was. Certainly should be a little bit more comfort on there. Yeah, so there we go. That's the Kramer with the new seat cover. So I've got a second seat cover, so I thought I might stick it over one of the other seats, maybe do some protection. The 6610 seat cover is in remarkably good condition and doesn't have any signs of wear, so I'll look at one of the other ones, see whether it'd be more useful somewhere else. So I'm going to put my other one, my pair, on the seat on the TN55. Obviously, despite the fact that it's lower hours, obviously not quite made of the quality of the 10 series. It's just starting to wear a little bit here at the front. So rather than let it go worse, I'll stick another one of these on. There we go, so I think that looks alright. I mean, I've gone for a nice dull grey colour, which matches the dull grey interior of the tractor. You can buy them in other colours, you know, if that's important to you. You want a blue one, or a red one, or a green one, or whatever. But grey goes with everything, doesn't it? So there we go. You can get ones with frilly flowers on if that's your thing. You want to brighten up your tractor. So yeah, I think it looks alright, and for less than a fiver, if it stops the seat wearing away as fast, that's okay. And I think they're probably machine washable, so you know, if you're so inclined, you can take it off and stick it in the washing machine, make it look like new again. So splashing out on seat colours isn't the only spending I've been doing over the last few months. I bought one or two other pieces of machinery which I don't think I've mentioned before, so I thought I might mention it now. One of them is a bucket for the Kramer, and before anybody says yes, it's probably too big for my Kramer, is a 7'6" bucket, so it's probably for a bigger telehandler than mine, although mine will lift it fine. It was just, I saw it advertised, it's got the Kramer brackets on, it wasn't a lot of money. Couldn't really argue with it really. To have another bucket around the place is quite useful. Still got the bucket that I use with it. I was hoping actually when I saw it, I couldn't really tell from the pictures that it was a bit smaller, and I was going to use it as the muck bucket and keep my other one for other jobs, but it turns out that it's a little bit too big for getting through the doors, and that at 7'6". My 6-foot bucket is much handier, so that will be my muck bucket. Carry on using it for muck. And this one, so I can use it for other jobs like fencing. I can put fence posts and stuff in it and go up in the field. Whereas if I wanted to use that one, I might need to clean it out. So those sort of things, moving logs, all sorts of jobs it'll be doing. As long as I don't fill it to the top with anything too heavy, it'll still be a very useful thing to have around for the money. What else have I bought? Is this? This is a mole plough. I thought it might be quite useful for dragging through some of the places on the field where we got water lying on. Seems to one or two places where it lies on the top, it's not even a hollow, and I thought if I drag that through the ground, it might be able to let the water soak in a little bit better. Again, it wasn't a lot of money, so that's why I picked that up. I think it was on an online auction, that one. And the third thing that I bought is this, which is a Brown's bale grab. Now it's in the workshop because it's got brackets on. It's got two lots of brackets, which I think, did they say were Chilton or Trima or something like that. And obviously I've got to cut those off. Now I bought this because I'd gone to look at something else at a dealer's. I have had a deal on the other thing, but that's going to be in another video because that hasn't arrived yet, so we'll talk more about that when it arrives. This though, I saw when I was there and didn't want much money for it. Now it's a bit unusual as it's quite small. Now it's designed for smaller bales. Now I'm not sure whether it'll fit my square bales. What I might have to do is make some alterations to it, which I think I can do relatively straightforward. I think the biggest job at the moment is getting these brackets off because they've been welded all around here, there and everywhere, so they're properly welded on. I have made a bit of a start with the angle grinder at cutting them off, but it'll be a job for a Sunday, or I get bored one evening, I'll come and keep doing a bit at it to get those cut off, and then it'll be a case of either bolting my Kramer brackets on that I made, or I have the set of greys that I took off before I made the bolt on Kramer brackets. And then if I put greys brackets on, it can be used on the loader, or if I put the bolt on ones, obviously it can be used on the Kramer. I don't know whether the ram is any good or anything. We're going to have to wait and see. Whether it's big enough as it is, I don't know. So when I've altered it and put the brackets on, I'll try it. I think my quadrant bales are about 80, 90. And I'm not quite sure. I did measure it. It's about 85 to here, so might not be quite big enough. But we might need to. What I might do is try and cut it in here. And then get another piece of box slightly smaller inside and make it so that I can slide it and move it up to a bigger position. But anyway, as I said, I only bought it because it wasn't a lot of money. With a bit of luck, it'll work as it is. If not, might need a little bit of tinkering, but it'll sit in here until I do it. As I said, I've got one bale grab. This is a bit of a thing, whereas if I had two bale grabs, I could leave a tractor in the field with a grab and the Kramer down here for unloading, so it would make life a little bit easier when I'm doing bales. Bit of a luxury, but when you're working on your own, these little things kind of help.